TorgyTalk. 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 Alrighty, welcome back to TorgyTalk, everybody. I'm your host, John Torgerson, along with Jack Mann, the producer, and our very, very special guest, driving all the way up from Chicago, Mr. Eddie, everybody.
Hey,
Thank you so much for making the drive, man. I appreciate it.
my pleasure. Nice to be out in the sticks. I appreciate
Hell
the
yeah.
good woodland areas. It's nice. It's very therapeutic.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about parallel parking anywhere. You just pull right in the driveway.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wow, this is the one time I'll use my parking brake. It's incredible.
So you don't roll out of the fucking driveway.
Or if I'm in a pothole, I have to stop myself from going to the center of the earth if I'm in Chicago. But yeah, I'm glad I can utilize every item on my car finally in the woods. Also, a big shout out to the chocolate factory down the street.
Oh yeah,
I love the
Riverside Chocolate Factory.
Dude, I love the mom and pops. Are going to make some bad decisions after this interview.
Yeah, dude, they have you will not be disappointed. They have great fudge there. Everything is great. They got great ice cream. Everything is just, you will walk out. I'm lactose sensitive.
I'll give you some fudge and cream.
I'm lactose sensitive, so I'm not one to go on the dairy runs because I literally get the dairy runs. Yeah, I set myself up for that one. That was nice.
Saw that coming and going. It's
nice.
It's dad joke minute. Just to get those out of the way, and now we'll have real content.
Hell yeah, dude. So tell us a little bit about you.
Well, let's see. I am biracial. There is black in my mentalin and in my culture, as many people are confused. I'm a Leo, Aug 5, 1971. I'm old. I'm 53. I guess I'll just put that out there. I'm a young 53. Black don't crack, brown don't frown. Living in the city of Chicago. I've been a musician all my life. I've been doing comedy now for 3 years. It's going to be 4 years, I believe, in March.
Awesome. Hell yeah.
And I'm producing 2 shows. I'm in a steady relationship. Hopefully, when you get to the point of relationship where you're like, hey, would it just make sense, like, outside of the relationship, should we just move in to save money? I mean, that's when you know, you probably found the one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In a very pragmatic kind of sense of the word. But I'm producing 2 shows, one of them being Prompt Battle Royale, which is a game show, a digital AI-based game show. And the premise being we get comedians as contestants, and then we come up with themes like Harry Carey's exercise program or Oprah Winfrey without her makeup or something silly like that. And then we run it through this Mid-Journey program, and it produces images, and then the comedians choose the image they want to defend to win the round.
Oh,
so like 3 themes, 3 prompts, 3 rounds, best out of 3 wins.
So are the comedians coming up with the prompts themselves?
No.
Or are they just picking from the prompt? Are they picking from the image?
Picking from the image live. That's kind of the spontaneity of the whole thing, is they don't know what their words are going to produce as far as an image is concerned. So they get to choose that and go, oh, yeah. I know how I can riff off that and how I can win the audience over, or how I can improvisationally come up with something really fresh and fun for me, based on the imagery. The imagery is the inspiration for people to kind of come up with their own narratives, their own their own way to win.
Is that a monthly show then?
It is a monthly show. Last Thursday of every month at O'Donnell's Bar in 45. For where the
same location as the Gauntlet guys.
Absolutely. It's a hidden treasure because it's kind of a cop bar and they don't care about overt political correctness. So those seem to be the audiences right now in the Republican frame of mind. At least the non-extreme people, but like people that are like VFW, veterans, police, fire, they understand gallows humor. So there isn't all this sort of like overt wokeness that's sort of
ruins everything.
Kind of galvanized. Well, I think you can.
It's intimidating to be around. As a comic, you don't want to say the wrong thing around. You know what I mean?
You don't want to be hacky. Let me go on record for saying you just don't want to be gross and being like one trick pony. I've seen men and women do it, and it's like, do you have a joke outside of that? Because this guy from CG's actually, one of the guys who was running it with Kyle Allen at the time, an open mic out in the burbs, which is east of the burbs. He was basically like, if you're going to go this dirty, you got to go this funny.
Right.
And as a rule of thumb, I learned that a long time ago. But there isn't this sort of overt, oh, I'm going to say the wrong sentence or whatever that's going to potentially offend someone who doesn't know satire or comedy. And I think they just get it. But anyway,
I was also told, sorry to cut you off. I was also told by a black comic, if I'm going to tell, if me as a white comic, if I'm going to tell black jokes, it's got to be funny. It's got to be hilarious. And I've learned that.
Yes.
And because I made that mistake one time. I went and it was like right when I started, I told a black joke that would just, if I would have delivered it a little bit, he told me, it was, do you know Sed Moore?
Oh yeah.
Sed pulled me aside. He's like, yo man, he's like, if you're going to say that, just say it. Like, be confident, say it. He's like, you'll have a lot more success doing it like that. And I'm like, okay. But I also am like, okay, I'm also going to make white jokes too. Because like, I can't just be the white guy that's only doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta kind of, you gotta be the great equalizer.
Exactly. But also
have to be,
they gotta be top notch joke. You know what I mean?
Well, if you're speaking outside of what your own experiences are,
right,
that's going to be like, this hack's got it wrong. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I've done some queer comedy, LGBTQ stuff, and I said stuff that I thought was funny when others didn't. And so when I was picked for this woman, I had to kind of share with her my hesitation a little bit. And she's like, speak on things that maybe don't go into politics so much or this or that. Just do with what, just kind of expound on what you already know or what your lived experiences are, which I think is fair.
That makes sense.
Unless you're like very crafted, you've gone over it and over it. You've done hundreds of shows, how to kind of speak to every population.
Right.
In a way that they'll understand. And then they also don't know you all the time. So you have to consider like, this crowd doesn't know me, whether it's a black audience, a gay audience, etc. What can I do to relate to them, or what's my own experiences with this that I can relate? And then when I did that and I curtailed my set without not being myself, you know what I mean? Like I was still myself, still doing my stuff, but I curtailed it. I might have tweaked a word here. I just left out a syllable or a breath or who knows what. And it hit, and it was funny the entire time to the audience. So that's, I think it's good if you can challenge yourself to work out of your comfort zone to be a better comic.
Has there been a time where it didn't work out?
Oh shit. The first, a
lot of the time, probably more times than not, right?
Dude, the first year I was a comic, and that I decided to do stand-up, open mic comedy, right? I think I've developed into a stand-up comic after 3 years. I don't think I'm just an open micer. I'm doing more shows. I guess I have a little bit more cachet, but I will let the audience be the judge. It was a black audience. It was in the Burbs. I believe this guy was named Marlon. He was running a show. Like, that's where I met Shakes the Comedian, Lamar Davis. That's where I met Mo Good for the first couple times before she I happened to catch her on a few things before she kind of blew up. Blew up locally more. Yeah. And basically they were bumping people left and right. And they had a DJ, and they had their own kind of in-house set of regulars that show up. So there's already a fucking culture within the culture that I'm not even aware of.
Right.
So they bumped me to let this girl that they thought was cute go up and sing this song. She's drunk. I was already fucking annoyed by that. And I'm in the bathroom. I go, I know what I'm going to say when I come back. And I go back. I'm like, Miss, you did such an incredible job. I was so relaxed. By the time you got done singing, I was in the bathroom. I had time to rub one off before I got up on stage. And the whole crowd was just like, isn't
that the worst when you're like, this is going to work so well. And you think of it on the spot for that. It
was hacky. It was stupid. You know what I mean? But I thought if we're talking shit, you know what I mean? If this is a understanding crowd of free speech or whatever, I didn't know there were fucking rules. So I get out there and everyone just, it's just you just saw, it was just brutal. And
I try to shake someone's hand.
Yeah, exactly. I look at the guy in front of me. I'm like, yeah, I don't think they're feeling that. It's like, yeah, I don't think they did. And then, so he had the punchline, and that was good enough for me. And then that got done. That was 5 minutes of hell. I did that place twice, and then what I found interesting the second time I went up to just to do 5 minutes after learning what I had learned, like maybe I did one joke that made people really, laugh. I think I did, yeah, I'm half black, so I got a short, thick dick. And the one woman in the back, like, like belly laughed. I thought, okay, one woman in the back out of 30, I'll take it.
If I was there, you would have gotten 2.
Yeah, exactly. I'll see what else I can do. And that's funny. And then I talked to like a couple comedians afterwards, and I remember Mogood going, she's like, "You're nasty, aren't you?" I go, "I'm just talking." I'm like, "Are there rules to this shit?" And basically, like, read the room, like, don't talk about jerking off to people you don't know for the first. Like, they basically laid some ground rules to, which is very nice. Her and Lamar Davis, a shout out to them. They're awesome fucking people, and they didn't have to tell me anything, and they did. So that was really exactly. And they did it without jerking off in front of me as well. So that was nice. Well, that was, and what's also funny is that's the same night I met Steven Springer.
Steven's
wow.
Yeah.
I haven't met him. I hear a lot about him.
He's like, hey, he was running I forget which suburb it was, but he's like, hey, I'm running a mic, and why don't you come out? They'll like your comedy. I'm like, come on. He's like, no, you're really funny. Come on out. So I did, and I bombed the shit out of that because I got nervous. I thought I was going to crush at an open mic. Something like you learn, like you think you're the shit, and you're going to come out and like, I'm going to crush this open mic. The purpose isn't to crush at an open fucking mic because it's other comedians and people that maybe are regulars. You're working on your craft, you're doing better, but you have to you got to read the room wherever you go.
You got to have goals that are realistic. You got to have to. I always feel like if you can crush an open mic, like, all right, if I can do that a couple more times, I'll have basically confidence to keep on moving to other places.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then so I'm older. I came into tune when I was about 49 or something like that. And I had no qualms about being the old guy coming to the crowd. There's plenty of people that are all age groups. That's what's beautiful about the comedy culture in Chicagoland. I'll say Chicagoland because that includes the burbs. It's all ages, all races, backgrounds, everything. At the end of the day, it needs just to be about the context of comedy.
Right.
And that's all anybody should really be caring about, although we all have an axe to grind, sometimes, and I get it, and I can get that way myself. But if you can keep it comedy, you can keep it inclusive. I try not to alienate people, and that's something else I've learned over the years. You try not to alienate people. You speak on what you know about. You make that funny. I don't like to do the soup. And I've talked some shit about, countless Hitler jokes. When are we going to hear another Hitler joke? But, it's whatever. I try, do whatever you got to do. I think it's all good. If you make a joke about it and you do something that's an even better version of the joke than the joke before, then fantastic, right?
Yeah.
But I try to speak on what I know, make it inclusive. I try not to alienate everybody. And what I've learned over the years is that seems to be working for me. So,
yeah.
And also just, I don't want to do like I was saying, a soup du jour, the joke of the day, the month, like, we're going to hear 18 Luigi jokes tonight, and that's fine. And I'm not going to judge that, but I just think for me, I went into a housewives things there for a second. For me, I got to do just stuff with what I know because that's because I feel like I ventured off in a territory in which I sort of half know some things. And another example, I'm giving you do's and don'ts 101, folks, for newcomers. If there's a woman I really respect, comedian, she happened to be in the crowd that night, and I made some joke thinking like, I'm at the Glenwood. That's my people. All the weirdos are at the Glenwood. They get me. They know that I'm a decent person. Right. So I went under the guise of that. And then I said like, it's Women's Day what did I say? It's like, well, it was Women's Day or Women's Month or something like that. And the women will be the first one to tell you about it, and thinking that would be funny. And then like the women to the right, they were just like,
I don't like that.
And I'm just like, no. And so I went up, I go, hey, your whole energy changed when I said that would happen. She's just like, it was hacky. She's like, I know you're a funny guy, but it's like, you came out the box, just boom, a woman's statement, just nothing else to embellish upon it. And so I'm thinking to myself, great, it's going to be 5 minutes of a guy just bashing women with no real material. And I go, understood, because I've heard women conversely do the same shit and it's turned me off. She goes, exactly. So what I did, I rewrote the joke. I came back to her and I said, hey, I thought about you. It was really eating me up. I wanted to do right by it. And so here it is. It's like, well, it's the end of Women's Month, but not until I say so, because I'm every woman, bitch. And I just, and she laughed hysterically. And since I changed it and did it live, more people laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because now it's like you're shitting on yourself, but you're bringing everybody in. You're not alienating anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
When you get on this TED Talk soapbox too many times out of 10, I don't want to pay for that.
Yeah, for sure. No, I
want to escape too. I mean, trust me, I'm just as politically minded as anybody else, and the social commentary could be flowing out of my butt one day and not the other. But you want with comedy with this game, I just feel like it's cooler to bring everybody together, laugh at all the bullshit together.
Oh, absolutely. So I actually did a show last night, right? Up in out in Loves Park for Joseph Christopher. It was Windsor Pizza.
Oh, I was hearing about that.
So I did a show last night. Things went good. I have a set in my joke, a joke in my set.
Yeah,
you know what I meant. I have a joke in my set where I say that I stopped taking my antidepressants because it causes weight gain. I'm like, what a shitty side effect. I already want to kill myself. Now I got to go spend my extra money on a heavy duty rope. Right? And it usually gets a really good laugh. One lady said, I'm not laughing at suicide. And I'm sorry about that. I'm like, don't laugh at the suicide part. I'm like, laugh at me being a fat fuck and I need a heavy duty rope. And then she's like, oh, okay. And then she laughed. And I'm like, whoo. I recovered real well. My stomach fucking dropped out of my ass when that happened. I was like, no, I just lost him.
Yeah, I can't.
But I was able to recover. I was so proud of myself for that last night. I was like, holy shit, I recovered. Nothing happened. And then I won it back right after on the following joke. I was like, okay, cool, we're good.
Good job, John. Way to recover
that was,
on that.
Because that was a really old. That was like I would say like an older crowd, like mid to late 40s,
Sure.
early 50s. Older than me crowd, so I'm 30, so like it was an older crowd for me. So like some of my material, I have one joke that I was like definitely not going to work. I probably shouldn't do it. I didn't come up with something different on the spot. I went through with the joke anyway. It didn't work, but it's cool. 75% of my shit worked, and I kind of adjusted. It was the first time that I really had like exclusively a one-aged crowd. You know, it's usually a little bit of everything, and this was just like I was like, oh, it was a good crowd, but it was just like I said, it was just weird. I've never had somebody specifically stop in the middle of my joke and say, I'm not laughing at that. I'm like, oh my God. Holy shit. Okay, sorry.
That could have gone.
I love you. You're beautiful.
That could have gone the way you brought it back. And I've seen comedians go, well, as if this, and then kind of explain the premise analogy of it, like whatever. Like, let me flesh it out for you, folks. And then people laugh. And
right.
I'm like, part of me early on was kind of like, if you don't get it, you're fucking stupid. So fuck you. You know what I mean? Like That's sort of like just kind of antagonistic attitude about it. And I go, this is not how it works. And it's really not. It's not about your issues there, sir. So
Brandon Kiefer told me last night too. Cause like that same lady was talking.
Oh, he was at that show.
Yeah. So he was, I did the guest spot for him. He headlined.
Way to work that out.
I love watching him perform. This is the second time I've done a guest spot on one of his shows.
He's one of the best.
I love watching Brandon do his shit.
We're gonna go get a GoFundMe to get him a car so he can tour. Him and Tito Tails need to make some tracks because those guys are excellent.
Brandon's very funny, man. Anytime
good guy too.
Because Joseph Christopher literally told me, he's like, hey, pick from this lineup, and I saw Brandon Kiefer. I'm like, I'll do that show because I've done a show with him before. He's a great dude and super funny, but that same lady that stood up during my show was talking the entire, like after one of his jokes, she'd be like, oh, and then she'd talk to her friend, be like, oh, this is how I feel about this, and this. Then he did his Civil War joke.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And she's like, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, it's a joke about a horse being racist. It's not real.
Yeah,
I was like, it's not real.
It's also taking the piss out of racism,
right?
If you really listen to it, yeah.
And I'm like. And I pulled Brandon aside after. I'm like, dude, how do you not just like say, yo, shut the fuck up? But he's like, look, it's a free show. If that was a paid, like they paid to be there, he's like, I never would have let it get Jesus Christ. I never would have letting it got that far.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And he's like, but since it's a free show, it's there for the business. He's like, you kind of just gotta address it, ignore it, address it, kind of like just play it lightheartedly. He's like, you don't want to fucking get mad at him because like if you get mad at them, they're gonna get mad at you. They're gonna complain to the business.
Yeah.
Then you're not. He's like, you want to make sure that you cater to the business. And I'm like, wow, I learned a lot just by watching him like I learned so much last night. Like I literally was sitting there just like focused on his set, like what he was doing, how he was interacting with the people that wouldn't stop talking. And I was like, wow, that's just like, you can just tell from me being on stage, you know, because I'm coming up on 2 years, and then how long has he been doing it? 10 years or something like that? You know, I don't even know. But like you can just tell. I mean, just how you just his presence on stage. I just love watching a veteran comedian crush.
Yeah,
and he's still like even though he had people talking, he still did very well. Like he still crushed.
He's still trying to bring everybody in, and he's a pretty congenial cat. He's just a hard worker.
Did we talk about our shithead friend getting drunk there?
You interrupt way too much as a producer. I'm here to tell you that. Look, Jamie. No, what's the story?
Our friend showed up drunk as a skunk apparently to that show.
Oh yeah, last night one of our younger comedian suburb friends showed up. I'm not going to drop his name or anything.
I appreciate you.
He showed up. He was very hammered, and another comedian friend that went to support me had to take that comedian friend outside to like get him away from the show.
Oh boy!
So
yikes!
Props to the one comedian friend for getting the other comedian out of the show. So that was cool. It just happens, you know. It says,
comedians unite.
Comedians unite. Yeah.
No, last thing I'd say about Keither, and then stop licking everyone's asshole. Is he's like, I don't have an opinion. It's like opinions, you can have them, but why share your opinions really at some point? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, he's very wise. I feel like him and other people like that who know how to kind of navigate without getting too involved, they've already been there, done that. They've already fucked up a million times enough to go, I'm not sharing. I'm not going to divulge anything else. Then I'm going to keep it strictly comedy. I'm going to keep it on the stage and, you know, just keep it about the craft.
Absolutely.
I think that's the big picture I've taken away after 3 years and some change is, you know, don't make it about you necessarily. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like make it about the crowd or the audience. I work very well with crowds and I've been getting better and better and better with it. Enough so where I'm like, I think I can confidently say I work way better with crowds and trying to impress other comedians at open mic or, you know, other, you know, hot shit places to perform. But and I'll get to those spots too, you know. And what I notice, crowd work is so much more fun when you have a really good live audience and they want to hear comedy.
When did you start doing crowd work? Is it like recent, or like have you been doing it since you started?
Oh, that
I'm at the point where I want to try it. I'm so nervous too.
Oh, it's
I did a little bit last night actually, kind of to start my set.
Okay. Well, then you're good. You're good for doing that because I guess you want to get people to know who you are, you know, and kind of like get to know them.
He was wearing Packers gear, and I'm like, hey sir, I don't like you. You're a Packers fan. I'm like, how did you feel about that loss in Lambeau? I'm like, hey. He's like, I didn't like it. I'm like, I bet you didn't. We took the wind out of your fucking sails, didn't we? You're gonna lose tomorrow. And then I just started my set.
Wow.
And everybody laughed. It was fun. It was cool. Okay. Just a Bears fan making fun of a Packers fan. Yeah, it was cool.
It sounds like
finally we get to make fun of them for once in the past 5 years, 6 years, whatever it's been.
Well, I mean, that 1 point seemed to have made a world of difference for the Bears, but you know, long road ahead.
Take any victory we get.
Hey man.
It's an ugly win is still a win. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Especially versus the Packers.
Yeah. And I don't have as much skin in the game as other hardcore people that have been born and raised, and it's frustrating because, you know, there's so much politics involved and just bad management and, blaming one side or another side. It's just like, why do we get caught up in the same dumb argument? Like, wake up, you know? But when you're so emotionally invested like that and frustrated, it's hard to even probably think logically about, you can't separate yourself from, you know, all that loss, you know, because, you know, it really represents yourself very well out here. I don't know. That wasn't a really good sentence. Not very good. Anywho, but the crowd work thing is cool. I mean, honestly, if we want to talk about crowd work, I think I've just been a social animal all my life. This is cutting in and out a lot.
Yeah. I don't know what's maybe happening. Just try to pull a little closer. I think
sorry.
No worries.
I'm just gonna let's do this. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, no worries.
Sorry, audience. Hopefully the editing room will prove effective. All right, we'll just do this. So, yeah, basically, since I've been a kid, I think I've just been social and, you know, outgoing.
Yeah, I mean, ever since I've met you, you've been nothing but talkative. And it's like, to the point
where I'm like, shut the fuck up, Mr. Eddie.
Well, not at all. But it's just to the point where it's like, it's like, you're not Like the first time I ever met you, I think really was the first time you came to the mic with Sam up here, right? Was that the first? I may have met
Sam Berry and I forget the other cat's name. Great guy. I just don't see him enough to remember his name.
I forgot who it is.
That's
too.
Sad.
I haven't seen him since then. I don't think
Sam Berry. Well, you know what?
No, Sam Berry. I see all the time.
Yeah,
I love Sam.
I just see him. He's been getting better and better and better.
Oh, he is just getting. He is getting so good.
Well,
it's so cool. He's
embracing his persona. He's embracing like his weird caricature, and which is his personality, being kind of a goof. And he's like
all the energy,
a good natured like. If that guy doesn't go far because he's just such a well-natured dude, and it comes off, and that's his personality. That's what people want, you know what I mean? People want cats that like they can identify, they can relate to, and they can shoot the shit with after about whatever.
He was really like my first friend that I made down there that like talked to me. Besides the buddy that I would come out here, me and a buddy started going out to the Red Room. I met Sam at the Red Room. He was like the first one. That was like the first club I really did, and I was like, talked to Sam, and he had just started like around the same time, maybe a little bit before me. And I was like, we just kind of hit it off. We're the same age, you know? And then he's a great fucking dude, man. I'm so glad. Yeah. He's one of the guys that you're like, man, I'm glad I started comedy because I met him.
Absolutely.
And I met,
well, he like Amy. It's like, well, I could see this guy kicking it with this guy outside of comedy.
Me and him we had plans to play golf last summer, but I unfortunately got into a work accident. I'll tell you after this.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you recovered. Hopefully your dick works.
My dick works.
Your dick's back and
my dick is good. My back
dick
hurts.
Broke.
Though.
I heard it was well known in the comic scene that you broke your dick. And we got to make money sometimes, and sometimes porn is the answer. So
I know. My wife doesn't get that.
Yeah,
but.
No, but I'm glad you worked it out and you've moved on to greener pastures.
Yeah, same.
He's dope. Anyway, but he's doing this thing. He's doing a. Once a month on
Wednesdays at the Opry.
Wednesday at the Opry.
I've gone to two of them now.
Is that Willow Spring? What is that?
It's Western Springs.
Yeah.
It's a great little bar.
I love it.
I've done it twice now. It's a great crowd. If any comics are listening that haven't,
you showed me they serve the best Manhattan there. Oh,
they have an incrable. Oh yeah, she does a great job.
They got some good craft cocktails there.
She does a good craft non-alcoholic drink, the Fugazi. Last I checked, and it was really good. Anyway, it's really
that's a great spot,
top-notch spot.
And the crowd's always good. Yeah, the bar's very accommodating, and Sam's a great host. It's a great time. It's a great time. I'm going next Wednesday. So
yeah, I'm hoping to.
If there's any comics that are listening that haven't gone to that mic yet, you got to check it out. It's once a month. Come out and support Sam. He's great.
Yeah, you get to do 10-minute sets.
Yeah, literally.
you basically get to rehearse. If you got a gig that week, you can basically get to rehearse for that gig the length of your set. And I bet because it's not bum rush because of the distance and it's pretty localized. So it's not a lot of comics, but that also gives you the leeway to completely do whatever you want to do.
I know it sucks. This comes out fucking Friday. So his mic will already have happened.
Oh, so this pod comes out Friday?
This comes out, Friday.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
So, unfortunately, Sam's mic has already happened at this point.
Yes, correct. It was such a great mic. We should just edit that and go to the fact of how about Sam's mic the other night, huh?
Yeah,
wow. Just talking
what a fucking banger that was.
That was a banger. Did you see the chick? She threw up. She threw up like coffee and booze. It was crazy.
Insane.
Smelled horribly.
I didn't know somebody could drink that much Bailey's. Holy shit.
Yeah, I know. I was banging the waitress afterwards.
It was
wild.
Yeah, the Opry's insane.
Everything went to shit.
Oh, man.
Anyway.
Dude, so something I've learned in comedy doing, something that really makes me pretty upset, actually, is when people that the joke has nothing to do with gets offended for that other group. And it's mostly white women. Sorry, white women, older white women that are getting mad at jokes that have nothing to do with them.
Right.
I don't want to say
everybody's suddenly a black ally when you never dated a black person.
Or it's a drunk
or everybody's suddenly like, I'm for your LGBTQ rights and there's no way
pretty much I don't like that it's called the Washington Redskins.
Oh, that
has nothing to do with them. Pretty much that type of deal. I'm not trying to get into that type of talk or something like that. But I had a joke.
Canceled.
I had a joke that worked really well at the Vixen, right?
Mm-hmm.
The black audience was laughing. It was a black joke. The white audience went, "Aw," and got really upset. And I had a black guy afterwards pull me aside and say, of all the comics, that joke was the funniest joke of the night. You should keep telling it.
Well, it's just sort of like
maybe it was just the crowd wasn't right because it's up here.
I'm going to answer this.
Okay.
Speaking as a black man, however you want to view me, which shade of black, it's up to you. That's some kind of like wanting to be on the white side of history, a right side of history kind of. I don't have a term for it other than it's kind of it's a bit contradictory.
Okay.
Because they don't have to live in the skin we live in. And they want to be an ally. They think they're doing the right thing, but it's like, it ain't up to you.
So it's not bad for me to tell the joke, right? Like,
no, it's not bad for you to tell the joke because you got validation for the people that you kind of wrote it for. You know?
Right, exactly. Like,
if it's approved from black audience to the white person, you get the fucking pass.
I mean, because all of them by Addison.
We're going to be the best judge.
Addison O'Neill is my. If I have a black joke, a new black joke, I run it by him.
Well, Sayed Moore is going to be the best. Addison, absolutely, and Sayed is going to be one of the people that's going to be your litmus test because.
And going to other mics too, like Riddles, I guess would be a really good one. I've never gone to Riddles, but I've heard that's in Elsip, right?
Riddles is great.
So that's like Addison told me, he's like, dude, that's a great spot to be testing out these jokes.
Well, it's actually way more mixed, and people are there to see comedy, and you meet like the coolest people.
Sure, good crowd too.
A decent, you know what I mean? I think I went once, not enough because I think the energy there is really, really good. And I know Will was hosting it for a million years and whatever happened, and now Saeed has it. And I'm glad Saeed has it. At least someone like him that isn't kind of on the same level as Will is hosting a mic like that. And I don't know. I just kind of losing my train of thought here.
Yeah. I was just basically just talking about going to like how I was saying like performing those jokes.
Don't interrupt me.
All right,
I'm sorry. Long story longer. So you were right. There's some, I don't know, kind of the white world right now that's just like overtly woke and liberal, and to kind of they just would like, oh, I'm offended for you. It's like it's hypocritical.
It's annoying.
It's hypocritical because at the end of the day, how far are you really going to advocate for Black lives? At the end of the day, how far are you willing to advocate? Are you willing to throw yourself in front of an angry mob of racists to your Black friends? Or just go, oh my God, I'm going to film it.
Yeah.
And then
that's
post.
A very good point. Yeah. Well,
so we've seen this circus before, and it seems to be a thing. And I think people are well-intentioned across the board. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to shit on anybody in particular. But it is those people that are, like, to your point, getting offended for other people. It's like, I can handle this argument all on my own, thank you.
Right.
Like, unless you really, I don't know, you're going to have to kind of come correct and prove yourself a bit more than to just be pissed at a joke.
Right.
For another race, or for a gay person, or for an immigrant. Like, what's your cachet? What's your history? What are you really, what are you about? What are you on? What are you on?
Right.
So don't tell me, and it's like these are the same motherfuckers that'll tell me about myself or what I should be doing. It's a very strange time, and I think everybody wants to try and do the right thing, but
yeah, no,
you gotta. I mean, all those stuff of like microaggressions that you hear with whatever, like people just need to be more educated on everyone else's experience before immediately going, oh, that's a word that's not associated with good things about this population of people.
Right.
Well,
yeah, no, I just wanted your take on that. And I just, because as somebody that like, I have like 2 jokes that I tell on the regular that I ran by Addison. He loves them. And I've had like last night, one of the jokes that I knew wouldn't work was a black joke, and it did not work at all. And I was just like, that's one of my,
we covered kind of like the do's and don'ts 101 comedy.
That was definitely on me. I should have read the room. I should have been like, this isn't going to work.
Well, but you had to try it, and you worked on it enough to where you knew it wasn't a hack joke.
Right.
It was a little more specified, and you were willing to probably explain it to those that wanted to know, wait, where were you coming from? What angle are you coming from?
It's one of my best jokes too. Like, yeah, so that's like the weirdest part.
I don't know if you got the go ahead from a cat like Saeed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Yeah.
No, I didn't want to take things in a weird direction. I just wanted to ask.
Well,
I just wanted to say something that I've learned.
Too late.
Well, are you weirded out now? I'm sorry.
No. I'm bullshitting.
Good. This is me getting to know you. I don't know your sarcasm yet.
I want to talk about even more dangerous shit, and I'm like, no, I better not.
No, I just want, okay, so this is, guys, this is me really getting, this is like the first time we've actually sat down and like had a conversation. Yeah. So this is us getting to know each other. So now I know,
happens. Like everybody,
now I know that you're a bullshitter.
We talk,
you can't bullshit a bullshitter. That's why I was like questioning.
Exactly.
But you just bullshitted me. So
did I? Oh, okay. When did I do that? Just now? In the last sentence?
Oh, but isn't that, so like I've learned so much in the last like 2 years about different rooms, different areas of doing comedy, and like how like, it's just wild that like one joke can crush here and just do fucking nothing here, and one joke can crush here and actually get you fucking complaints here, like yell, like boos here. You know what I'm saying? It's just so wild to me how, and you got to you got to actually read the room, and it's like, oh, you got to figure out what's going to work and what's not going to work. All my dad material fucking worked last night, because that's the majority of my material is being a dad, and all of that worked. So it's like, okay, cool. That's pretty much what I've been leaning on. That first year, it kind of took me that long to kind of find what my voice kind of is going to be. And most of it's just like storytelling and just like telling you what my kids do, because my kids are just free material, man. And like, that's kind of what I've kind of started leading.
Yeah.
And Amy was the one that pointed that out. She's like, you should lean into the dad being a dad. She's like, lean into that material, because that material is relatable. It's funny. And it's real.
Yeah.
People are going to laugh at stuff that's real. And 95% of the shit I say on stage is real.
Right.
For the most part. Like, I have a story about bringing a pocket pussy in a strip club. That's a real story. I was 19 years old and drunk as shit.
Wow.
And there's a sex store next to a strip club, and I had to buy the pocket pussy before.
Did you just put it on your dick?
No, I put it in my pants.
Okay.
Yeah. And the stripper found it.
If the stripper's going to dance on you and you can't touch the stripper, it's like, well, let's get the best of both worlds here.
She opened. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Just
put the pocket pussy on and let her do her thing. And it's
it's like milking.
It's as if I'm having simulated sex, but not touching anyone.
It's like soaking. The Mormons.
Yeah.
It's like soaking.
Mormons, you're soaking in it. That should be a new, like Palm Olive. That should be a new dish soap. The coffee's wearing off. Sorry. Where were we?
So you got
more about me, please.
Yes, more about you, because I want to know. I've seen on your, I creeped on your Instagram, radio host.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. You said you DJ, radio host.
I did, and
I love talk radio.
Cool.
Do you still do it?
No, unfortunately, something had to give, and I was getting busy with comedy and music and my job. So
recently you stopped doing it?
It's been over a year. Okay. It's been over a year. It was WZRD, my alma mater, where I got my bachelor's in social work. And I was approached by this guy, Eddie Pedvin, great guy, similar taste in music, but also differing, but also loving each other's taste in music. And he's like, hey, I'm the program manager right now. You should come in and audition. I did. I got in and learned the turntables, learned how to, I guess, use the board on a very generic level, and then, doing local news stories and things of that nature.
WZRD, you said?
Educational material as well. What's that?
You said WZRD?
WZRD.
Is that at the college, right? That Megan Loftus?
Yep.
I went on with Megan Loftus a couple weeks ago.
Sweet.
Yeah. That's a cool little spot. I love that studio. It's awesome, dude. That's a really cool little spot.
Oh, so you know it.
Yeah. A lot of vinyl. A lot of vinyl in there, man. That's
cool.
That's cool.
I'm glad she got you on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so God, I mean, when did I start doing that? I feel like I was an on-air DJ easily 5 to 7 years.
Wow.
Easily.
What was your time slot?
Because I graduated technically in 2014.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it was probably 2013 that I was a DJ, and I stopped doing it, I believe, last year.
Okay.
Nope. It's going on 2 years that I've not done it. It's 25. So, Yeah, it's been a while, but it's a lot of fun.
I'm going to do you a favor real quick. I'm going to pull this mic stand out for you so you can lean back. I feel so bad that you have to.
No, it's okay. Oh, look at that. Why didn't I think of that?
I'm sorry. I felt so bad. I'm like, I'm a fucking shitty host. You have to sit forward. I'm like, you're 53.
I was wondering what I was cutting out.
Like, your back. I just had back
rate
surgery.
Of zero on the production. No, I mean, I was kind of just dealing with it and thought, oh man, maybe they'll work on it in post.
Yeah, no,
I didn't want to stop the flow.
He's turned up the faders good on Jackman over there. He turned up the faders to catch your voice from like you can do it from out here, but obviously you see when you go silent, it cuts out kind of, and that's just that thing doing. It's getting rid of the echo and getting rid of It's
getting rid of the black. That's what it is. Get the mental and the fuck out of here.
It's called whitewash.
Whitewashing is the proper term.
A
little quip from the production crew.
Oh man. So what was your time slot? What was your?
I was Wednesday, and then I ended up being Thursday. So I was Thursday 8 to 10 or 7 to 10. It was 3 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, 7 to 10, I believe. It was awesome. And the original crew that I came in with, they were really pretty big personalities, pretty talented. A lot of them were in bands also. And that was great. And so learning their music from a different generation, since I'm Gen X and going from millennials at the time, learning from them was really cool. And then going to shows with them and befriending them and getting hip to their band's music and their influences, that was so baller. That was so fun. I really enjoyed it. I'm really glad that I had an opportunity to do that. I mean, I guess I can kind of add it to the cachet, the faux resume of being an entertainer and
absolutely
in the industry.
Yeah.
But it's really great to have those skills, and I feel very comfortable on radio.
I can tell you're obviously a great talker on here.
Thanks. Although I'm kind of brain farting a little bit, which is not fun for me.
No, you're doing just fine.
So also, people have been telling me forever, you got a radio voice. I'm like, well, then give me a job in radio, pay me. But I know that's like a whole thing. So I should probably end up doing like voiceover work and things like that.
Your intro. How would you bring us on the air?
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a very special guest tonight. These gentlemen have made it all the way from McHenry County, right here in Cook, NEIU, WZRD, home of the Wizard. We've got John Torgensen and the other curly-haired half-black guy on production, and they're going to be incredible tonight. Welcome them. Welcome the McHenry duo.
Very nice. That is radio voice. That is fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, I do go into radio voice in the game show that I produce, the whole PBR thing. I noticed myself doing that. By the way, no one's going to hear this in time, but we're going to be on WGN Thursday of next week at 10 o'clock. Finally, we're going to promote. We're going to do a 5-minute bit, basically like Bontrager and myself. We're going to be competing against each other for a theme, and then the hosts are going to be the judge.
That's awesome.
And I'm actually going to meet him afterwards to kind of go over all the schematics and things that we're going to talk about, scripted, so we know what the hell we're talking about. And then I'll just be like very, very laser focused on making sure that I'm cool and I'm relaxed and ready for anything when I get on TV. Yeah. And so I know this guy.
TV or radio?
Sorry?
TV. WGN. Yeah. TV, my bad. I'm sorry.
That's awesome, man.
WGN, man.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. I got a couple things in the fire.
Nervous?
Huh?
You nervous?
Oh, I'm feeling it. And I'm just sort of mentally preparing myself now.
I feel like once you'll be good once you get going.
Once I'm there, I just like once him and I kind of go over what we got to go over, and then I have time to kind of memorize and go over it, and then let it be natural. By the time I get there, it'll be fine. Yeah. But we got to do it, and it's something I needed to do because we were in 2 different venues, and then 2 venues didn't work out suddenly, and now we're here. Now we're at back full circle back to O'Donnell's, and they're allowing us to do the last Thursday of every month, 4500. North Elston Avenue in Chicago. That's when we do it the last Thursday of every month at 8 p.m. We have Izzy Salhani. We got the baddie himself. I'm flaking on his name.
Dylan Mahler?
Dylan Mahler. Great. Dylan Mahler and Liz Becker. Liz Legs Becker. Got her. It's awesome. Very, very cool.
Dylan's coming on the podcast here soon.
Oh, Dylan's great. Dylan's great.
I'm going to be at that show. Yeah. I'm going to come watch.
Oh, I hope you do. Yeah.
Because I want to see how it works. I'm very, very interested to see how it works.
I think it's the 30th, 31st. Yeah, you should. You should check it out.
100% I'll be there.
Yeah, good. I appreciate that. We need all the numbers we can get. It's been tough getting people there just because people don't know about it. 8 o'clock.
Okay, perfect. Then I can hit a mic afterwards. Boom! Look at that.
And look at that. You're already doing the. I can tell he's checking it out. Yeah, we put a lot of. I mean, we've kind of gone through crews of people and things like that, and like I said, different venues. But we're making it work. And I figured, hey, let me reach out to my buddy Terry, who I went to high school with. He's been a WGN cameraman forever. And he goes, let me link you up. And he helped make this happen. And he basically helped make this happen. I owe him a lot.
That's amazing.
So I'll be like, Terry, what do you want me to buy up? Like, what do you want? Like,
shout out Terry. That's awesome, man.
Shout out to Terry Bates, man. Terry Bates, he's been a WGN staple cameraman for probably over 20 years at this point, easily 20 to 30 years. He's been a cameraman with WGN. He's top notch, always been a cool cat. And, being in this industry, it's like, I don't want to impose, but I have people I could talk to, I think, for that.
Right, yeah.
And you realize, like, man, well, let me reach out to them. I don't want to be gross and make it all about that. But at the end of the day, like, I mean, people need stuff from other people, and you're in each other's good graces, even though you haven't talked for 5 years, but it's still all good,
Yeah.
And I would not want to take advantage of someone just because it's like, well, I knew you in high school, but we don't talk all the time like friends, but it's all, you know what I mean? It's established.
Absolutely.
Like we've definitely kind of established all that stuff a long time ago. So I'm very, very grateful for that, and so I look forward to this Thursday and the 18th. So the 18th. So I'm looking forward to this date, man, and just getting this out. And hopefully I'll bring people in, and we wanna really grow this. I think we got a really great original idea. Bontrager's the brainchild behind this, and it's some genius stuff, man. So
yeah.
And then
it sounds awesome, man. I mean,
and then I also co-host.
Bontrager's fucking hilarious, man.
Yeah, he is. He's very,
I love the harmonica. Oh my boy. Look at that.
What's funny is, like, I'm the linear guy to his abstract kind of way of thinking, and it seems to work. So so far so good. We've been doing this for almost 2 years together. I'm thinking.
Wow.
Yeah. So I hope this helps.
Yeah, man.
And a lot of comedians, thankfully, and I don't know who the person on WGN is. I don't know if it's Pat Tomasulo because he does comedy and he works at GN. Like, he's been sort of the catalyst for bringing comedians into GN to be interviewed about their craft. Like Queenie Bitch, Ariel Julie were on, and Samir.
Samir
Abdul was on
for his Second City show, right?
Yeah. And Damon. Of his last name, Damon. Anyway, there's like been paired comedians going on, and I'm sorry, I'm forgetting everyone's name right now. I don't have a mental illness. Well, not a severe one. Anyway, I'm seeing a lot of Chicago comedians come on, and great. So thank you, WGN. Yeah, and now we're gonna take advantage of that and I'm just gonna do a media blitz on it and get people to stop what they're doing at work and watch us be ridiculous.
Yeah, hopefully one day I can get on there for the podcast once it gets a little bit more traction. I'm starting to get a lot more traction since I've been starting to like just ask people. I was very timid when I first started the podcast, like asking comedians to come up from the city. Mm-hmm. And then, I started like kind of gaining relationships with people and like, hey, want to come on the show? And then people started coming. They're like, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to come. And I'm like, awesome. And then now I have all the way booked. Like, I have my next guest. I'm booked. We're booked all the way out until the first week of April, I think, is the first one available now.
That's great.
Maybe second week of April.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's like, and Jason Seiler just asked to come.
Really?
He messaged. He was on. He commented on because Brian Miklas and Alan Salazar went on last week, and
I want that.
Jason commented.
Sure.
Jason commented on it. He's like, "What podcast is this?" And Brian said TorgyTalk, and then I said, I commented. I'm like, hey, I would love to have you. It's just my podcast where I interview comedians. I'm like, I'd love to have you. And then I DM'd him, and we haven't talked details out yet, but he's
a thirsty little star fucker.
I mean, yeah. Give me all the stars, baby.
I have a relatable.
Give me all the stars. Give me the personalities. Why do you think I got him? He's a personality.
Yeah.
He's fucking. Oh yeah. Shout out to you, by the way. Thank you so much for coming to the first open mic that I ever had at the Gambler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, him, Sam Barry, and Mr. Eddie, and we can't remember the other guy's name for some reason.
That is so sad.
But thank you though. I really appreciated that because I asked Sam, I'm like, dude, can you please go first because of Sam's energy? And then you went right after Sam. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know you had the same if not, I think you were a little bit louder than Sam, which is pretty hard to do.
I project pretty well.
And I was like, wow. It was like, oh my God. It was like the perfect thing we needed to start that show. That was the first one we ever did. And I was like, I knew you guys were driving from a long way away. So I was like, yeah, thanks.
That crowd was very receptive too, man. And it was fun. Like, again, with the crowd,
it was a good spot. They missed out by making me stop doing the mic there.
Well, yeah,
they missed out. I mean, they missed out by getting rid of the gauntlet. They missed out by getting rid of me.
It's about, I mean, if they could just, I've heard excuses of, well, it's too risque or it's this or that. It's like, shut up. It's about the money at the end of the day. And like people want to code it as another thing or there's some drama or whatever. Just be direct. Hey, you're not making any money. Or come out, let's do a trial run. What's another thing that I have my hand in? I'm the sole producer and the host for this place called Bad Attitude Bar and Grill. It's in Forest View in Illinois, like off of 55 in Harlem. And I've been booking all the comedians. I got like a great list of comedians coming out this Saturday. Is that the 18th? That's the 18th. And I'm getting my damn dates mixed up. Anyway, I have this show where it's like Minnie and Joe, the owners of the bar, like we sat down and said, well, what's the criteria? What are you looking? What are you expecting? It's like, hey, let's play the first one by ear. And that's where we started. And now we're doing it every other month consistently. Okay. So now I think I'm on my third or fourth show. And they basically like hustle people $10 cash when you come in the door. There's no tickets. They're like, we've got our own inset group of regulars that come in. They got great deals on food, drinks. It's a super fun crowd. Again, it's like a motorcycle crowd. It's sort of cop related, supportive. But they're all really, really wonderful people and very receptive to comedy. Again, awesome. I'm seeing a theme here. It's just weird how kind of the pendulum is flipped from left to right and who's more open for free speech. It's a strange, interesting time.
Because I mean, as I've gotten older, I mean, does it, from what I understand now about, I'm not a big political person at all, but
I'm not going to try and go deep into that.
This is what I've basically pretty much a Republican now is a early 2000s liberal. Is that a good way to explain it?
Yeah, there it is.
100%.
Okay. There it is. And then a liberal now is just what the fuck, basically. I'm right in the middle. I told you before we started, I want to smoke weed and carry a gun at my gay friend's wedding.
I think that's my views. That's a brilliant, beautiful way of saying that.
Yeah. I have a little bit of views on both sides. That's about it.
Yeah, I think in the last 10 years, just with life experience and the way the world's gone, I've just become a centrist. Both sides are on bullshit.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And honestly, they're all going to the same bar at the end of the day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what people want to forget. Like people that get like too big of a heavy stand. People are going to respond what affects them directly at the end of the day. Yeah. If it's not in your backyard, you're not going to be as passionate as the other guy who's having the problem in their backyard. So I just try to keep it in the middle. And then I just try to keep it all on the stage. You know what I mean? Put my art on the stage. But I call this show that I do the Caponeville Comedy Caper Showcase because the nickname for that Forest View is Caponeville, which is kind of hilarious. Very industrial area. In any case, that's been very successful. I've been able to pay the comedians double what I've been promising them on the outset. And,
sweet.
And to your point, I'm not afraid now to ask, like a Kristen Toomey, hey, can you do this? She goes, I'm going to need more money on a Saturday. I'm like, her, you know what I mean? Yep. She's not, and she's basically her own manager. She doesn't have a manager, but she's doing comedy mostly than a regular job. So she's fucking killing it on a couple of angles.
Right.
It looks like, but I appreciate the upfront honesty. Like, hey, I'm going to need more money to do that. I'm like, yeah, I am not, I'm taking an L, every now and then. I want to make sure they're paid, but now I'm going to have to kind of find the nice balance of I'm in the black, you know what I mean? Rather than in the red.
Right.
And that might mean that maybe you don't get an extra $10. Maybe you get 30 instead of 40.
Right.
I'd love to, get 40 and they're just fine coming to get $20. and discounted drinks and driving to BFE to do it. But it's worth it because it's a success and the people are into it and it's a good positive vibe when you go there. And I'm very, very lucky to have it. But I'm less afraid now to ask bigger name people to do it because I know it's a success.
Right.
And I'm not going to tell you, like, can you do my garage for $15? I mean, that's... Yeah. Anyway.
Are you still doing Power Hour, the music?
No, and here's why. And I know a lot of people have been very confused as to why I'm not.
I still haven't gone to Power Hour.
I know. We've been trying to go.
He's been trying to get me to go. I just haven't gone. Brandon Kiefer convinced me last night that I need to go.
Yeah, we keep doing the gauntlet.
He said it's a very good hang. He's like, the hang is the best part. He said,
yeah, and you know what? It's, I mean, not that this needs to be the only thing you hang your hat on comedy on, but you can say kind of whatever the fuck you want outside of like straight up racial epitaphs. Like,
right.
And it doesn't always have to be funny. We'll say some wild stuff there, and I've seen a lot of wild comedy, and it's more appreciated at a place like that. And it's at the basement of a VFW. So.
Which I love VFWs.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm. And they seem to be receptive to stuff. And the money's, as long as the money's coming in, it should be fine. You know what I mean? But like, definitely go to Power Hour. You should check it out. I got the fingers to 10 minutes. I guess we got 10 minutes, right? To wrap it up.
55 minutes, Rhett.
Oh, 50. Yeah. Oh, wow. Already.
Yeah.
Man, just talking our ass off. Mostly John. I feel a little illiterate, like I've been stuttering a little bit today. Sorry.
Oh no, you're great.
The
man.
coffee like got me revved at first, and now I'm just kind of like
I'm loving listening, talking to you.
Oh, thanks.
Or listening to
let's make out later.
We can. You definitely
let's
have
do
to.
it.
I don't like coffee breath.
No, yeah. I'll brush and floss before. Okay. I'm into hygiene big time.
There we go.
I'm kind of anal about my mouth. I just wanted to put those two words together, and it's gross.
He loves ass to mouth.
So I'm doing some stuff, and it works. So yeah, you should ask whoever the fuck you want. And I asked like Strong O'Donnell. I like to call him Strong O'Donnell. Anyway, Donovan. He was like, yeah, you should ask anybody. Doesn't matter like what tier of comedian they are. You still ask them. Right. And if they need a guarantee, then go, for you, I'll make a guarantee. I'll save. Or if not, I can't swing it. Like Mo Good, for instance, I gave her $50 to be on Prop Battle Royale as a judge because I knew she was getting to the point where she's going to need more than $20 to do this weird fucking show for an hour and a half. And just kind of knowing your audience, knowing your peers, knowing your colleagues, what they demand, and just making sure that they're straight up. I've had some cats be like, I'm all about it. I'm in. No, it sounds like a great idea. And then fucking ghost us on the night of the show. It's like, we're not some fucking...
Yeah.
We put a lot of fucking work into this shit. Like, if you're going to be unprofessional, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And I'll never... And you know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah, that's fucked.
I have
night of.
Listen. I have a long fuse. I have a long fuse when it comes to most people. They can do and be and say whatever the fuck they want, and I can brush some stuff off. And if it's really severe, I'll give you some clapback. I'll talk shit because that's the culture, right? But when you straight up ghost or don't have a reasonable excuse as to why, A became C. To me, you're being unprofessional. To me, you're not really giving me, you're kind of being a bitch. Yeah. You know what I mean? So just be straight up and be like, yo, this happened and this happened. It's like, you could have told me that shit as a possibility that could happen ahead of time. We could have had an alternate person come on. People aren't out here to just waste their fucking time, man. Like, I'm
you could have booked somebody that wanted the spot or needed the opportunity, and instead they fucking wasted your time. That's that's fucked up. I hate that.
And it's kind of like, oh, I'm sorry, I got this other show on comedy. Well, then fucking let us know this might be a possibility. You know what I mean?
No problem. Just let us. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's all. I'm easy. It's a fickle, weird industry. I get it. People are their own lonely island out here. Everyone's out for themselves.
People are going to take the better
rightfully
deal.
So, because working with other people sometimes fucking sucks. And it's a pain in the ass. And you can get more on your own. You can more done on your own. That's been established. I think that's great. I love my band. I hope we go the distance. But I got comedy too. And comedy's my own bag. You know what I mean? I can kind of determine and pick and choose what I want over there. And you got to be more diplomatic over here. So... but to straight up just like, it's so easy to communicate. Now, I don't understand, motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck what age you are. I don't understand people who can just go, hey, there's a possibility I can't do it. Okay, well then, thank you. I will make sure that I've got an alternate ready to go.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yep, 100%.
Easy. Yep. Stop being up your ass and be a fucking professional.
100%.
Especially if you're like, I really worry about my career. I want to be professional. This is part of it.
Mm-hmm.
We're not some fucking schmucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not some fucking like, some backyard niggas just like, oh yeah, this is some blow off shit that we can just come and go as we please. Like, what if it blows up tomorrow? You're going to be way up our ass after that. Once it's a success. And I don't, and for as many highs and lows as we've had with this whole thing, like, there's no reason for it to not be a success. So I'm sorry I got a little fired up there, but
you have every right to get fired up.
That's an absolute thing. I'll put up with a lot, but there's that's a pet peeve of mine. If you can't come at me with the same authenticity and honesty as I try to bring to you, well then don't ever fuck with me again.
100%. No, I agree with that. I would 100%. If you were like, hey, can you do a show? And I'd be like, oh, well, I'm only accepting a show if I can 100% do it. And if something pops up that day, I mean, that's shitty. I'm going to fucking still make my commitment, especially if it was like it depends on like the emergency side. If it's an emergency, that's like one thing.
But the 2 times it's happened, and I'm not going to name names, and it's all good. It's whatever. Live your life. But the 2 times it's happened, it was scenarios where, oh, I had this come up, and it's like, but you already knew it was in queue.
Right.
You already knew it was a possibility. So just, if you're brave enough to ghost me and to change like on the 11th hour, you should be brave enough to let me know in advance what the situation could be, period. Yeah. It's not that hard.
No, not at all. And, it sucks for like,
I'm sorry we're comedians with mental illnesses. Stop using that as an excuse.
Well,
come correct with your shit.
The fact that there's like, like newer comedians like myself who are really trying to like grind to get booked. You could have given that spot to somebody that want the spot.
Yeah, man. It's like, I'd love to have a hot shit person come up who's balling and like making the grade. And you know what I mean? Like,
just because you're hot shit doesn't mean you can fuck them over.
I mean, you're a chump. You know what I mean?
That's a shitty thing to do at no matter what level of show you're doing, whether it be the back room at O'Donnell's or whether it be at fucking Zany's. It's the same. You're getting paid to do what you're getting paid to do your craft. Mm-hmm. You should pay. I treat every show no matter what. I mean, I'm still brand new. I've done maybe fucking 10, 12 shows. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I do every show like I'm doing the fucking Zanies.
Also, while I'm on a rant, don't use people for their craft and then ditch them. Don't use people for their good wares and then go, sorry, too bad, so sad, don't need you anymore. Don't do that. Yep. Don't do that to other people that are hardworking people that care about the community, care about comedy, care about grinding just like you do. It's going to come back around.
Yes, it will.
Karma's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I really try to. I've learned very, very much. I know you already said it, that comedians are it's a very selfish game out there. It's a very self-centered thing, and it kind of has to be. To an extent,
I support that.
To an extent,
just be honest. Just be honest about it.
But to an extent,
like when people straight up like, no, I'm going to need more money straight up, like out the gate. Like I ain't going to do that show if it's not this. Give me your demands up front. Right. I respect that.
But just like, just as like put money aside, put shows aside, just like as a person, people just, I don't know. I feel like there's some people out there that are literally only in it for themselves and they say, fuck everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
To the extent where I've learned that about, if I am lucky enough to have success with this podcast or whatever, that if there's somebody that needs a fucking bump, like, hey, I just need that little bump. I just need my shit to get out there a little bit more. And I'm able to do that for somebody. I'm going to 100% do everything in my power to help out people because, I mean, yeah, I've gotten helped out with advice along the way, but I mean, I've had people like Jack, helping me do this and stuff, but like,
that's his name, Jack. That's his name.
It's been a fucking grind. And it's just like, I would 100%, I've had help to an extent, and I would love to offer more help than I can give, or that I was given. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want to return the favor to, especially if I can get this thing to fucking go where I think it's going to go. Because I truly believe that it is going to go somewhere one day. It's just a matter of persistence and a matter of consistency. This will be episode number 72. 72 of just comedy episodes. Yeah, this will be 72 comedy episodes.
You guys have been hustling.
And then I've done 15 sports episodes now. Those come out on Wednesdays. I just started doing that.
That's cool.
That's smart. Yeah, so are you a sports guy?
Not hardcore, but okay. I like listening to other people talk about them.
Yeah, every Wednesday, I
like listening to Bill Burr talk about him. It's the most. At the end of the day,
listen to Bill Burr talk about anything is great.
Yeah, if he not to lick his ass either, but
I'll lick his ass.
It's I'm sure it's
Burr.
We got some Burr Ridge. Yeah, he's funny. It's fun listening to him do sports. Yeah, it'd be cool if he did that like on the side too.
So every Wednesday, my best friend and I, he lives in Michigan, and we do a Zoom. We literally were just doing Zoom meetings, just talking about the Bears. It started off like that, and now it's obviously with the first. Like it literally was the worst season to start this on. Like we started it this season. It's the worst season of all time.
It's a great young group of guys, man, and they're like shitting on them, and it's just like, no, dude, like people drive me nuts with that. You know what? Okay, I'll talk sports for a minute. You know what turned me off of sports? When I was in high school, I was the band dork, obviously, and well, not obviously. You don't know my past. But
I could have guessed.
Yeah, you got it, Jack. Jack's back. Yeah, so. The guess is correct. I was a band dork, and there was kind of a hierarchy. So if you were in a foreign language or you were in sports, you were automatically a cooler person. And like I had to fight and advocate for my craft, for my art, for my music, for me being me, for what I'm into. And we won over people after about 4 years. And thankfully to this wonderful woman by the name of Monica Kent, because all the dudes were straight bitches that were teaching class, and they were just fucking losers. And she had bigger balls than any of them, and she advocated for us against sports. The people that were like, "Well, the band," blah, 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 blah. And she like went hard on the fucking, this guy Coach Zanani was coaching the team at the time. Advocated for us, and so I'll never forget that. Shout out to her. And at some point, there was a party. There were 2 young girls in my cohort, and then 2 other guys that happened to be on the football team, and they got in a car accident, and one of the girls died. Oof. And so they were blaming the dude driving the car, and it was a holy mess. And the paper got a hold of it, and it said 2 McNamara stars and 2 students. 1 die, and it's like 2 stars. Like it was the most insulting, gross, abuse of journalism. That's when I said, "Oh wow, this is some political bullshit. Like this whole spot is on some kind of bullshit."
Yeah,
and it really stemmed from like, and it's like, you know what? Maybe if you embraced everything about the school and not just the things that were the hot notoriety things.
Right.
And that's what turned me off of sports. And plus I was a shitty basketball player and I get benched all the time. But that's at least I was having fun. That was in grade school. That was having fun then. But then in high school, I was just like, oh, this is dirty. Oh, this is some dirty ass shit. And so that turned me off of professional sports. And then just seeing how Reinsdorf is what he's done with the Bulls, and just how the management's what they've done with the Bears. And I'm really, really tired of people falling into this loop of, oh, well, the offense sucks. Well, no, the defense sucks. We have a terrible. You got a great team. The Bears have a great young batch of incredible young men. They have a positive energy. There's a good energy to that whole fucking team, man. But you want to blame one line and then like they suck and then this sucks and that's like, you suck. You don't fucking know how this fucking shit works. That's what pisses me off about professional sports. And then when I went to like just live in a college town and I just was kind of bumming for a few years, I got turned on by college, by Big Ten. I go, this is passion. Mm-hmm. This is where the passion lies.
College sports.
Everything else is like, you're already corrupted. It's all about the money. It's all about the prestige, right? Like with anything, with any art form. When it gets to that point where it's so diluted with bullshit,
Now college is starting to get like that now with the NIL stuff. Though.
I mean, they've got their own problems, but you can tell in the way that they play, the way that they perform, they're still passionate. They're not jaded. They haven't been sucked in by the whole corporate, regime yet.
Yep.
Right? Just like like any star. It totally means more.
A lot of those guys and that got me past college.
Yeah, and that got me back into sports, right? But but what turns me off about sports is just the overt political agenda of the whole thing. And I suppose there'd be people like, well, that's just kind of how it shouldn't be that way,
No.
And we have our own special brand of of it here. So I think I've always loved sport. I kind of got into my sporty self later in life and found out that I love martial arts. And so I did Shaolin Kung Fu for about a year. I did Krav Maga for about 6 months.
Damn.
I did a little bit of boxing, and then I did jiu-jitsu for maybe 6 months before it was too expensive and the commute was too long, and I'm like coming out just to get injured, basically. But I've done martial arts more than any sport.
Okay.
So
really physically demanding.
I am an athlete. There is an athlete under this fat, and I do appreciate sports. I actually really love watching tennis. I love a lot of African American players who are doing tennis right now that are fucking crushing. There's this French gentleman he's like the Jordan of fucking tennis right now. Like he's just like underhanding under his legs and just, I mean, he's the most entertaining cat out there. And golf too. There's some.
I love golf. I watch golf every week.
I'm so much more relaxed watching it. And there's like in chess, I dig chess. There's a lot of like.
I don't understand chess. I played it when I was like No. Once you do, I learned it when I was younger. I would have to relearn it.
Yeah.
I haven't played it enough to understand
I relearn it every time I get back into it. Like I was getting schooled by one of my cousins. He's like not even 21. He's pissing me off. He's so arrogant about it. But it's how you relearn. It's like, I don't want these fucking kids, up in me. But I don't know. But I realize like chess is dope. Like, and I've seen cats like, there was a time when like Starbucks had like chess tournaments and shit, like on the side, like that went off North and Wells. And it's like this whole black crew was just in speed chess, dude. Like bam, 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 bam. I'm just going
That's
crazy.
Insane. How does your brain process that fast?
That's what I mean? It's just hours and hours and hours and hours of doing the same thing.
I guess it's just like a
comedy. Coming back to comedy.
Firing off a fucking joke real quick.
Yep. Yeah, it's like, how do they set up that premise and do that punch? And then they added that tag that was even funnier than the fucking punch, like seamlessly and just like the word choices and MDP Matt Doyle Perez. He
great guy. I love him, man. He's so funny.
He's excellent. He follows like a regiment, like syllables. Like he measures it by how many syllables are in that sentence, so that he's not over embellishing or saying too many words. And it's a formula. It can be formulaic, and I think it's good to have that formula because once you have that down, then you can kind of riff and freeform and fall back. And I like doing that. I like having set jokes that follow a certain set of words, syllables, whatever. If you're saying and too much, like I'm probably doing now in this fucking podcast, then it gets messy, and then you have time to embellish and do crowd work and come back and just keep it tight, Hell
yeah.
I don't know where I was going with all that. Anyway, I do like sports. At the end of the day, I think I do like sports. I'm kind of over the whole.
I totally get where you're coming from when you said like with that news article. Sports are like, so I played football. Okay, I was the quarterback for a couple of years. Anyway, I don't know, my senior year, my sophomore year. Anyway, played varsity football 3 years. And I also loved basketball, but the basketball team, like kind of, you had those certain players that grew up, because I didn't start going to public school till 7th grade. So like all these kids have been playing together since like 3rd grade, whatever. They do like I was raised by a single mother, so I didn't do the travel leagues or anything. All I did was the school sports and then like local little league and shit and like local basketball. I didn't do the AAU shit. So all those, like, if you didn't have like I'm not going to say the last names in this town, but like if you had a certain last name, like you kind of knew those guys are going to be the starters. But like they were also way better because they also went to all the camps and all that shit. Anyway, but like it's totally kind of like a political thing. Like if you had that last name, you know that this person's going to start for sure because they've been a basketball family this whole, you know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of like, I totally get where you're coming from on that, but also being a football player, you have no idea how fucking, or you might have an idea, but the band, dude, fucking got me so pumped up, dude. Mm-hmm. Dude, when that drum line goes, man, that is the best fucking thing in the world.
It's a part of the whole thing. We were a part of the whole sports
team
because I was in marching band. We were
high school football without a band.
Yeah,
you really can't. And it's just like, especially
we got fucking mocked, and you know what I mean. It's like we're out here for you cunts. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like,
see, I got along with I was actually one of the jocks that hung out with the drama people. And not too many band people, just a lot of drama people. Because I really wanted to be in the fucking improv club. I just never did it. I didn't do it. I should have fucking done it. I should have done it. Yeah, I should have done it. But I was literally stuck in that high school. I was a jock. I can't do that. Blah, 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 blah.
There's
literally knowing what I know now. That's fucking ridiculous. I'm 30 years old and I work for the state of Illinois. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's like I'm not like being a jock.
It's just, dude. It's just we're taught from when we're young that there's borders and there's boundaries between people, and you can't be with this set and you can't be in this group because of this. And
I went to every school play,
but everybody wants to integrate and mix it up and know everything about everybody else's shit. Because it's fucking fascinating. And it's also stuff that they can't do. Just like I'd love to learn how to be more proficient at even just playing football or setting up picks or learning plays. I think it's fascinating, like how to be a better person, a better baseball player, better sportsman, better athlete, and tricks to do it.
To me, throwing a football is what instruments do you play? Do you play more than one or just one?
I played more than one.
Okay, see, that's insane to me. Throwing a football.
Right. So, like, the people on the football team, right, when we did the talent show and wowed everybody, they're all like, man, I can't do what Eddie does. I'm just like, I didn't think you thought I was shit for like so long. And they're just like, no, man, you're nuts.
You know how many times I tried to fucking pick up a guitar? I've tried to pick up a guitar so much. I can't.
Are you that weak? You can't pick up a guitar?
No, I'm a fucking pussy, dude. The fucking, how many times I've like picked up a guitar and tried to learn it, like for like, I just can't do it. I just can't. It's just too much for my brain to comprehend.
Some people have it, some people don't, man.
I just don't have it.
Don't beat yourself up over it.
But it's just like, I wanted to be a part of like I said, I wanted to be a part of that improv group, and I wish I knew what I know now, because little did I know that means absolutely nothing. And like I was hanging out with all those fucking people. I should have just fucking did that extracurricular activity with them after school. I should have just done the improv club.
Woulda, coulda.
But hey, it is what it is. I did an improv class not too long ago, and it was pretty sweet. It was really, really fun.
Well, now you can do whatever you want now.
Yeah,
you can kind of make up for lost time, which is great.
Yeah, I have like.
How are we doing on time?
I think we are like
1:17.
1:17. All right, that's perfect. I'm going to wrap it up with two questions for you. Two more questions for you.
I feel like there's so much more I could have said. But
no, dude, this has been a fantastic episode. I've loved talking to you. I know that you are. I told Jack, I was very excited for this one because I knew that you were from the little that I've talked to you and the little I've heard you on stage, I'm like, oh, you're going to be a great fucking I knew you were going to be a great energy, easy to talk to, because every time I've talked to you, it's been you talk, I talk, you talk, I talk, you talk, I talk. There's no dead air.
When you just dip, a normal we dip.
See, like that, boom, like that, perfect, right there, content, baby.
You know what? Like I'm sure it's probably. I think I'm in the right field to be that person.
Yeah, and also
I know it can be obnoxious for other people, but I do find it. I don't know, man. I like talking to people. I've never been I've been a scared, anxious person.
Yeah,
but in general, and if I look, I can go in any neighborhood. I feel at this point in my life and just, oh, you were in that neighborhood, but I'm still going to look you right in the eye and go, hey, how you doing? I don't give a fuck. And that might not be great all the time, but I carry myself with confidence. I'm scared of plenty of stuff, trust me, but I don't let that affect me or affect how I want to communicate with other people. I do have a reverence to probably a fault of people in the scene, in the comedy scene. I think I got to a point where I'm like, you know what? I hate everybody now, but I do have a reverence, honestly, to everybody, and it's not that I can't do this. I've been doing music for so long, and people are kind of like, I can't do what you do musically, but I can't do everything you do in a comedic fashion either. And so that's fascinating to me, and I really respect the culture and the art, and I want to be better.
Yeah.
But I do have like, I think the only people I'm kind of like, I'm leery because I just have an appreciation and respect for a lot of the comedians in the scene. Not all of them, okay? Not all of them all the time.
Yeah.
But I think in general, yes, and I think I always want to say the right thing. And sometimes I feel I'm dated just because I am, I'm kind of embracing this middle age at this point. And sometimes I feel like, should I be performing in more of my own peers or, it's like, nah.
You fit in. You fit in. You fit in with the younger crowd,
I'm a young
man.
53.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. No, because you got more energy than I do.
And I try to remain relevant, and I want to learn. I want to learn more, and I'm not ageist. That's what it is. I think some people can get a certain age and get caught up and go, this is the way you have to think. This is what you have to do. This is what you have to give up. And I'm like, fuck that. I don't know what any of that means or what it looks like. I've had an unconventional life from the day I was born. So none of that means boo to me.
Yeah.
And onward and upward.
Yeah.
And
hell yeah, man.
Whoever's on my team, great. Yeah, it's great. It's just I'm very blessed, and I don't like to use that word, to a nauseating effect, but I am very blessed. I mean, I have family I haven't met before that I've gotten reacquainted with after forever, and I'm in this family of comedians that I really truly love. I mean, I love them. I love them. All the bells and whistles, kinks and crooks, man. Like I dig it. And the music. I've always been. Music was my first love before I knew what being in love was, which is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that now for a fact. And so that's in my blood. So I'd love to be doing all this full time. I'm a social worker. I'm saving people's lives, but also there's times where I'm like, fuck the mentally ill. I resent all of you. It's wild. It's just a weird place to be, kind of in this interesting middle ground of my life.
And my aunt's a social worker too.
Huh?
My aunt's a social worker as well.
God bless her. She's a colleague. I'm very, and I got a great lady, very committed, very loving, sweet, supportive.
Makes life a lot easier, isn't it?
Yeah. It really does. I'm sure we're going to go the distance. We might make a big move to move in this year. Honestly, not just for love, but like economy. Like, let's just save money.
Yeah, save money
because it's such a racket out here.
Open up a room for somebody else. Too,
they're raising my rent every fucking $25, like every 6 months. Like I can't keep doing this bullshit. Yeah. Anyway, it's a good life, and just trying to stay healthy and on course, and not sabotage anything. So,
there. Oh yeah, man. You said that you wanted to say a lot more. I'll have you on another time if you'll come on another time.
I would love to.
Like, okay,
it's nice to get out of the city, come into the sticks, breathe.
Yeah,
you know what
man,
I mean? It's a good atmosphere. Like see another part of Chicagoland that I haven't before.
It doesn't smell like emissions out here.
It doesn't smell like emissions. Like see if like there's gas under $3. It's always fascinating to like get those. It's the little things.
If you go 10 minutes north into Wisconsin, you can get really cheap gas.
Oh yeah, that's what's so strange. Like you feel like the more north you go, the more. Oh, yeah. But no, it's cheaper. Also, Detroit, really fucking cool. Been there recently. Not talking about gas, just the fact that I was in Detroit. I was born in Detroit, and until I was 7. But there's some comedy people out there that I'm going to link up with in the next few months. Hopefully,
my best friend lives in Detroit.
You got to travel.
Or Garden City. My buddy lives in Garden City, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's where my best friend lives. He's
my girlfriend's from Midland, Michigan. A lot of dairy farmers that are loaded.
There's a lot of wine, a lot of vineyards out in Michigan, a lot of wine.
Beautiful country, man.
I love Michigan.
I did Kenosha out there.
I understand why he doesn't want to move back.
Who?
My buddy Jake.
Oh,
he doesn't want to move back. I've been trying to get him to move back. He's like, no, dude, Michigan's great. And I'm like, I can't blame you.
Easier living.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So I got 2 questions that I've been meaning to ask every comedian, but at the last couple interviews I forgot. But I'm bringing it back with you. So if you were going to do stand up in an alternate universe, where would it be? So like for me, for instance, I said like a Game of Thrones type era, like where the fucking jester's telling a joke to the king type of deal in front of his court. If he does bad, his head gets cut off type of deal. I would want to be the guy, but I always crush. My head never gets cut off. That's where I would want to do it. Mm-hmm. So like for an example. So yeah, something like that.
I want to do it in an area where they have the most amount of money where you could actually wash your ass.
Okay.
Because when there's no toilet paper, there's no, I'd want to be in an area where I could. Can I clean? Oh, you mean I can take a shower? That would be where I'd want to be.
Okay.
Just logistical area, in that era. If I was in like the in the medieval area,
right,
before plumbing.
Okay, so
I want a place where I could.
If you can think of any alternate universe, like Peyton Ruddy, for instance,
he said alternate universe. Got it.
Yeah, so he said
we've covered.
So your own alternate universe. So the best place you want, so Peyton Ruddy said he'd want to do it at, like, you know how Seinfeld always opens with stand up. He'd want to do it in front of that crowd, so he'd always crush. Like something like that, or it could be literally anything. You could do it in front of fucking like SpongeBob and Squidward at the fucking. So
where would I want to be? Where would I want to perform comedy in an alternate universe?
Yeah, it's kind of a goofy question.
What alternate universe would that be? I guess the alternate universe where people understand satire.
So what, like the 90s?
Yes.
There you go. All right, so you go back in the 90s, and okay, there we go.
That might have boded better for me back then.
Okay, cool.
We'll see. I might come up with a better answer when I'm on the way home. It always happens.
Then you can save it for the next time.
It's like, this guy did not do a very intelligent comeback. Like, oh, well.
Well, then I got another one for you, though. This is the one that, this is one of my favorite ones. So I follow this guy that does, he takes all like people that had death row sentences and he makes their final meal and then he rates it. So what would your final meal be? It's a really cool concept, right? It's a very cool concept.
Yeah.
And so there's this one guy that was like this guy claimed he was too fat to be executed. But he ordered but they're like, no, fuck you. You're getting lethally injected. And he got like a extra large meat lover's pizza, 2 double cheeseburgers, a fucking milkshake. Final meal?
What would be the last supper that I'd make?
Yeah, it can be as big or as little or as simple or as complex as you want.
It's like the same question of what's your meal on a deserted island. I would say soul food. I would say greens, mac and cheese, barbecue.
Okay, dude, can't go wrong.
Fried chicken. Actually, chicken fried gravy, maybe like biscuits and gravy, even.
Ooh.
Definitely in the breakfast brunch category. Maybe some beets. Throw some beets in there because you never know. Like have some good vitamins. Have some good. It's all about the unts. Have some good vitamins in there. I would say a soul food, like a luxurious soul food, rich, calorie rich, saturated fat, butter, love, and grease, and peace.
Hell yeah, man! That's a great answer. I love that. So I was actually thinking about this the other day too. I'm like, I've said my meal on here a couple times. But it's so funny. Like you see these meals that these people I'm following on this guy, and I'm like, can you imagine this guy that has this meat lover's pizza, the 2 double cheeseburgers? This guy's just having acid reflux all night, dude. This guy's spending his last night just puking all night, dude. That's how I think about it, because literally, if I eat fucking like Domino's, my wife and I, we used to be big stoners back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And we would always, like, once a month, we would order Domino's just because it was garbage and it was just like a fast food pizza. We'd get the garlic knots. We didn't even really, I don't know why we got it. But every time we would get it, on the dot, 3 a.m., my ass is puking. And we would know it was happening every time. So I'm trying to eat something that has low acidity levels.
Yeah.
I got to make sure I take my pantoprazole beforehand. I'm fucking 30. Yeah. I'm almost 31. I'm turning 31 in like 2 weeks.
It's honestly, happy pre-birthday. And
thank you.
Take that as a blessing, because I fucked around and found out, and I kept doing the $5 biggie bags at Wendy's, and I'm like, because I do ride share on the side. I haven't had to in like many months, but I'm going to have to do it again pretty soon. Just extra money. And when you're riding around, you just want to get in and out and get back on the road and make money, because it's hard. It's hard to even get like $100 these rip off ass rideshare companies now. You know what I mean? Like you can go an hour and just make $30 for an hour drive. It's unbelievable. Yeah. But so you don't have time to fuck around. So I just want to go and get food, and I know it's bad. And then after a while, it's like, hey, the joke's on you, because your metabolism is no longer in the way that it used to be, and now it's going to take me extra to kind of like get rid of all this junk. So you have to be. It's a blessing for you, because you're already out of the fast food mindset. So you're going to be eating less poison than the rest of us. I still
fucking eat it because the pantoprazole works really well.
You can. You just gotta.
I gotta stop. No, my wife and I, we just went grocery shopping today, so we are. We are on the new year clean eating. Because I lost 50 pounds last year, and I'm not trying to gain it back.
Good for you, man. That's massive.
And I'm not trying to gain that back.
Yeah, I'll be eventually. So
I got that little treadmill.
Yeah.
Shout out to my mom. My mom got me that treadmill for my birthday and Christmas combined.
And she's like, "You're a fat fuck. Here's some exercise."
Well, it's because I had back surgery. I had back surgery.
Sorry.
In October. It's okay. No, I literally. So it's the best thing.
Now I feel bad.
Good. Now it's just the best thing for my back is just walking.
Yeah.
And it's sitting down is just the worst thing in the world for me.
Yeah, I know. So, I want sex to be better. So at the end of the day, it's really about my orgasm. So and how I'm boning. So I don't want anything in the way of my joints. So just eat better. Try to be more disciplined. I mean, I do have a gym that's literally 2 blocks from my house that I pay for.
I pay for a gym that I don't go to either. I also can't though because of that back surgery. But
eventually
I go to PT 3 times a week, so
I'm just done talking about it and trying to be about it.
That's same here, man. That's the same thing I'm doing. My wife and I were like,
that's my New Year's resolution. Shut the fuck up and just do it.
Yep. There you go.
Your New Year's revolution.
Yeah.
STFU, go.
All right. Well, with that being said, I really appreciate you coming on, man. I really appreciate making the drive up. I would love to have you back on anytime you want, man.
I'd love to come back.
So I really appreciate you.
Is there a game we're supposed to be playing?
A game?
We could do No Choice.
How much time? We got 1:30. 1:30.
So how many minutes? 1?
Yeah.
Let's do 1.
All right, let's do 1.
I just want to see if I'm smart enough at this point.
Okay, let's set the scene. Jack, pick a scene.
All right. Dispo shop.
At the dispensary?
Yeah.
Okay. We're at the dispensary. All right, we're at the dispensary. I'm the worker. You're the customer.
Okay.
And all right, go ahead.
Hey, I really want to. I kind of like I like the sensual kind of attributes of THC. I was curious, what blend would you recommend to me that kind of helps the bedroom antics, amps it up?
I'd go with an indica.
New choice.
I'd go with a sativa.
New choice.
I'd go with cocaine.
Okay, I'll go with cocaine for 100, Alex. I don't know if this is how this works.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, keep going.
I'll go with I will go with fertilizer and rabbit pellets. I would rather go for could I do like a manure sativa blend with cacao beans? You know what I think would be even better than that would help it in the bedroom? I think if I could do liquid Drano, just a drop of liquid Drano in with a gummy that's a hybrid THC CBD blend with horse manure and amoxicillin. I like that because I need my protection from the Drano. I'd like that in either a pill form, or I'd like it in a gummy, a 200 milligram gummy. I want to go from 0 to 60. I don't care about my organs anymore. Could you get me that?
I can probably.
I don't even know if I'm fucking doing this right.
You didn't even need New Choice.
Yeah, there's so many.
That was great off the top of the Badome right there, though.
Oh, thanks. The Badome.
The Badome.
I love the bidet and the Badome.
Oh man, that's funny. Should we keep going?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I don't know where I can get any of that. You're gonna have to go to Walmart for that stuff.
Oh, Walmart. God, I heard they stopped more illicits. I think CVS is the place to go. Should I try CVS? Okay, cool. How about Bill's Farm and ammunition? I like how about a fireworks place in Indiana? Don't they sell really good gummies that qualify for all the THC and the rat pellets and the bat guano? I want all that in one.
You're gonna have to go to Farm and Fleet for that.
Oh, Farm and Fleet. Are you sure? Is it Farm and Fleet or is it Wendy's? I wasn't sure. Which one should I go to? Which one has the? Now I heard Farm and Fleet. They've got really good. They've got a really good like year guarantee on their and they're good. New choice. I would have to say. How about a Hobby Lobby? Doesn't Hobby Lobby have this? Hobby Lobby must have some really good THC blends with rat pellets, bat guano.
They got mainly THC mixed with crafts.
No, crafts. You know what I mean? Now that you mentioned crafts, you got any crack? Is there crack that can go into the, because like, let's say, like, we can't get high enough these days. I mean, they're putting mushrooms, psychedelic mushrooms into a gummy. There's a gummy, like, once you put crack into the gummy, like, I want a kind of like a very euphoric high where my inhibitions are down, but I'm also sort of centered enough. And then I'm apologetic for things as I'm high at the same time. I want to be able to like, kind of like, fuck, like spread it, you know what I mean? Like sometimes I want to be the girl, So why don't we do that? And then I can kind of mellow out at the same time. Does it also have nicotine in it? If we could do it all in one gummy and just kind of like, but also it has to be time sensitive. It has to be time lapsed. The crack first, weed then, and then the smoke after to kind of like get me back into the groove. I would like all of that. And I think my partner would really appreciate me shit in the bed, because that's what probably would happen if I did something like that. I would shit and puke, and then I have to go to the paramedics. And so I think Hobby Lobby, that's got to be the place to go.
And scene. Very nice. That was insane. I couldn't believe you catch it. That was just
that was
nonstop.
Dumb.
That's okay. That was nonstop though.
Oh,
it was nonstop. No dead air. No ums.
There it is. I'm getting better as a comedian.
I was going to say Hobby Lobby's a Christian store, so whatever gets you closer to God.
Yeah, there we go, man.
And boys are fuckable, so there you go. There's a Christian attribute. Yeah.
Well, with that being said,
you get it all in one shop, one-stop shop.
With that being said, guys, we shall see you next week. Thank you so much. Happy Friday. This comes out Friday. That's why this.
I apologize in advance. Thanks, everybody.
All right, guys. Have a good week. See you next week.
Adios.